Hello, I'm Natalie, and this is Living Your Best Life After 50. In this episode, we're talking about how to overcome fear. Especially at this time in your life. You know, it's called the middle age, so you're at the middle of your life. You had half of it already done and probably less than half to come. And a lot of us are at the sort of a crossroads. I mentioned that before, right? We just need some change. We did most of us, I'm guessing, had children, and we did all that. Got exhausted and burned out from being a parent and being a household manager, I guess. And most of us had to go to work besides it and wanted to go to work because, you can't just, it is good for you to be involved in something else than just your household. But nonetheless, some of us just get burned out, ready for a change. It's called midlife crisis, I guess. Especially, it's apparently a okay thing in men. Oh yeah, they have a midlife crisis. But women have it too, and nobody really talks about that so much. That's why, marriages break up. It's not necessarily the guy or the husband. It's a lot of times the woman that initiates it because she just has enough. I think men somehow kind of had to have the blinders on and just keep on going, and they don't really want to know that there's something going on. They just think we just chug along how we always did, right? So yes, that's what we're going to talk about today. So make sure to stand by and listen to this new podcast on change. But before we talk about the theme of this podcast, I have some personal announcements to make, I guess, somewhat. As I talked before, this series is about moving on, solo travel, and getting yourself out there and, enjoy life at your fullest. It looks like now that I'm probably going to leave earlier than later. I can't really say 100% yet that's going to happen because I haven't signed any, agreement that this is going to happen. It would be a house sit, very rustic house sit. That's all I can say for now, in Portugal. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get that the logistics figured out, and I will be able to go sooner than June, which makes this all more relevant, this podcast about change. And if you like this podcast, like my channel, please subscribe, like, and share. Do all the things, because it really helps me get the word out there and get people interested in my content and build an audience. I will put some links below, like you can buy me a coffee. There's also some tools I use. There will be some links for that down there for YouTube channel or other tools you can use for your day-to-day life. So I will put some links down there that you can check out and maybe support me in my efforts to build a community of like-minded women that go through the same time of their life to support each other. And that would be great to, comment down below to Let me know what you think, what you're going through, maybe, as much as you want to share, obviously. Yeah, just build a community, get a conversation going. Because I think middle-aged women are just not really taken serious. They don't seem to be a big part of a whole society, even though we're like 50%, but we're getting ignored by advertisement, and a lot of movies or films or series are not about us. So yeah, I think the word needs to get out there, and we need to have more eyeballs on this time of our life. So back to the podcast. Okay, so overcoming fear of change. So as we step into this new, exciting part of our life in middle age, especially as women, we want to make changes. A lot of us get divorced or want to change with their partner to have a more fulfilled life. But fear keeps us from achieving those changes, those new goals. But we know deep down that we need to make these changes to become a better person, a better partner, even a better mother to your children. Because when you grow mentally and you focus more on yourself and on your self-growth, you will be, in turn, a better person for everybody in your life. So the one main reason why you fear change is the lizard brain, as they call it. And it was good back in the day when you had to be worried about getting eaten or hunted by some kind of a wild animal or by another tribe that wanted to take over. And, it prevented you from leaving the village or leaving the community. So you would stay safe where you were. And only, the hunters went out there and had adventures and came back or maybe not came. They went to go get food and they might have never come back. So that experience itself, kept you from doing that. But times have changed. We don't live like that anymore. We're not cavemen, men, or nomads anymore in that way that we have to worry about the bad, dangerous things that are happening outside our village or outside our house or whatever, outside our family. Unfortunately, it hasn't really changed much. Even though our lives changed and evolution happened, the brain didn't make that change yet, which keeps us from trying to make changes. So our brain, because it hasn't changed yet, does not differentiate between good positive changes and negative changes. They just think it just thinks change is bad. So what we're going to do about that? One resolution is to push through the discomfort and think about all the positive things that came out of small changes you made over time. How you felt, how it made you feel, and it builds trust that you can do this again. when you think about these positive changes you made before, you can navigate bigger changes too. You can tell yourself that you are strong enough because of these positive experiences you made that you can overcome this bigger change in your life as well. And since we're talking about this change, what change could it be? Like, obviously, my change would be moving abroad. Again, I have done this before. So I overcame a big fear to move. First, before I got married, obviously, I came over here not knowing anybody. But that was before the internet, so there was nobody I had phone calls with my host family. I came over to work, but that was it. I didn't know how they looked like. I didn't know how the place looked like. I didn't get any pictures. All I got is a letter telling me they want to hire me when I applied on the one phone call. And back then, phone calls were, landline, 8 hours. It was expensive. There was no computers. So, yes, there was a lot of fear, but also excitement. And that's one, I overcame that already. So for me, the new change is not as horrible or fearful than other people would have that lived their whole life in the same place, never did much change. So for me, this is a positive experience I already had, and I know I can do it again. Other changes could be you start a new job or you retire and figure out how to, retire. And so you don't feel worthless and not useful anymore, right? That would be one fear. Something else would be, you get divorced and you move to another town and get a new job that way. The fear of your family, losing your family because you move away. So there is 3 or 4 points I want to make to build this trust and confidence in yourself to overcome this fear. So when you think about these positive changes you made in the past, you can think about how you more specifically navigated it. Like that you could pivot even though things didn't go as planned, they never do. You were capable of pivoting and make changes as things happened for you. And this builds trust in you that you can handle anything that comes your way. And all these fears you have, they're only a belief you have. It's a belief system. It's not reality. It is only in your head, in your thoughts. So when you think about what these positive changes did for you in the past, they made you grow and evolve. They made you mentally stronger because it made you confident. I could do something on my own and nothing happened. All it was is positive. But of course, if you only think that change would bring risk, danger, and would be overwhelming, then that doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel small, unfulfilled, and kept in a bubble that you can't get out. But again, that is only your belief. It's not reality. It's only your thoughts. This change will help you move forward, open your mind to new possibilities and experiences, which in turn will be beneficial for your mental health and your physical health, of course, because those go together. So this thinking will reprogram your brain into positive thinking about the changes to come. And a good way to do this is start a journal. Every morning, put all your thoughts down, the positive that will come from this change. And the positive stuff have happened in the past from changes you made. And if you do that every day, you start reprogramming your thoughts, and you will lose the negativity that came before. And it's also good to meditate either before or after you do this, which helps you calm you down and helps release positive, happy hormones, which help you to keep you longer in this good feeling mood. But sometimes it needs more than just positive thinking. Sometimes inner child work has to be done. Inner child work is something that happened while you were a child that influenced you so much. For example, you always were told you are too sensitive and you need to stop, talk about your feelings, and have all this emotion constantly going on. Like, don't wear your heart on your sleeve, so to speak. Stop doing that. Nobody cares. Keep it to yourself, basically. And sometimes we as parents do that to our kids. Unknowingly, we don't really know what we're saying sometimes. So if you're always told to suppress your feelings or not to show your feelings, then you start to keep them to yourself, and that kind of starts to build up, and it suppresses any change because it means that you're not good enough the way you are. If you're a sensitive person, you're not good enough for society. So don't ever show your true self. And of course, we're not really aware of that. It kind of happens subconsciously. So what we need to do, this inner child work this is just an example. I'm not an expert. I'm telling you this from books I read and listened to other books and videos I watched from experts, which would know way better what I'm talking about. But I'm just trying to put the word out there to make you think about making positive changes in your life. So, back to this inner child work. So we need to let go of all these beliefs and that other people put on us. So we need to think about why this happened. What beliefs and society, the family and friends influenced us to think this way. And we need to recognize that this is not reality. That is not who you are. That you are good enough the way you are, and that you are allowed to be your true self, show your emotions. And that is just an example. Obviously, everybody's different. There's other issues you might have you don't know about. You have to just think about what it actually is that causes these blockages and fears that you can move forward with your life. All this thinking is really just, like I said, in your head. It's all you thinking, even if somebody else tells you, but it's you that believes it. So you need to stop believing everything, the negativity people put on you. Sometimes it's just they are afraid for you, so they want you to tough you up and make sure you get through life without being too emotional, for example. So it's not always in bad will that they do this to you, or you think they do this to you. Again, it's only just talk. And if you think what they're saying, of course, and especially when you're a child, you know no better. You put this on yourself. So if you start believing yourself, be yourself, stop listening to other people, and believe who you are as a person is good enough for your life to get through life, you will make these positive changes without fear and without all these limited beliefs that hold you back. And this is just a short summary. Obviously, there's a lot of work you have to do, especially if you have more serious doubts and issues that are deeper in you, because you're not consciously aware of this. That happens deeper in your subconscious thinking. And some people, they don't have any fears like this. What they do, they just, instead of thinking about all what could happen, they just do it. They say, okay, I have a plan, I'm doing this. And that way they don't have time to think about this. Sometimes it's a lot of, we just overthink stuff. We just sometimes just need to go for things. We need to be more intuitive. It's good to plan. Sometimes, it's good to have a plan, especially if you're moving, or obviously there needs to be a plan. But put the plan in motion. Don't just think about it, actually do it. Right? So that was a little of a heavy episode. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And I said before, check out all the links. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I have videos on there too, so you can watch that. I'm going to put the link for my channel down there too. If you just listen to this episode on all the podcast providers. Have a wonderful week. I hope I'll be back next week. And this time it's probably going to be a video. So go check out my channel. And podcast's going to go on when I'm on the road. I will interview some people and make some interesting friends. I'm excited. So fingers crossed. And I'll talk about the changes that are coming pretty soon to my life in the next episode and video. Enjoy your life to the fullest.